Welcome to Awaken Health Pod. This is Jennifer Grogan with Integrative Health Coach with Greenleaf Wellness in Central Illinois. And with me today, I have my partner in health, Shanna Scordel with Inspire Wellness for You, all the way in Arizona. Hi, Shanna. How are you today?
Hi, great. Good morning. Happy December 11th, 2017.
Going by fast.
It sure is. Well,
so how was your weekend?
It was very nice. Spent some time with my girls while my boys were out on a trip. So had a nice rejuvenating weekend a little bit.
Good.
Yeah, thank you. Well, are you ready to dive in today?
I sure am. What's our topic today? You want to share that with everybody?
Yes. We are going to talk about some tips and ideas for self-care and its importance. And then at the end, maybe we'll have some time to share a little bit about what helps you and I find our balance and center.
Sounds great to me.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited. Do you want to start with a few go-tos for the listeners and share maybe some areas of self-care that aren't as obvious to most?
Of course. One of the things that a lot of my clients aren't aware of is belly breathing, and how that plays a huge part in your self-care. I know everyone thinks, well, we breathe every day, but it's how you're breathing. I try to teach my clients, the steps of breathing, not so much from your chest area because that's where the stress is, but more from the belly. Belly's more relaxation. It's circulating the blood flow. It's getting your heart pumping. It's like a little massage. And when they start incorporating that, they're really surprised. So that's a huge one that I like to focus in on. And just, be more aware of your movement. Walking is a huge self-care too. So whether it's 10 to 15 minutes a day, at least you're getting your cardio in and just breathing and relaxing.
I'm so glad you brought up belly breathing. I absolutely love that technique. I also love to share it and help others learn about it. I'm just so glad that you brought that up as a first one because I didn't even think about that yet. And it's so important and it feels so good to do it.
Yes, it's like if you don't have time to get a massage, just focus on your breathing, So they're always like, well, do I sit? Do I stand? How do I do it? And I just talk them through it in a chair if I'm in a session with them, but I always tell them, sometimes I just lay flat if I can on my bed or on my bedroom floor. And, you may want music with it, you may not, but the whole key is just focusing on the sounds of your breath. Does it feel cool? Is it warm? And just, get that belly going up and going down and the balloon effect. And they're really surprised by it. So, but yeah, it's great.
Yes, I agree. I actually practice that mostly when I'm driving. Or I'm sitting, but I get a nice little reminder and just take some quiet time. And the trick to this is when you're breathing in, you're pushing out with your belly. And so it seems to be a little bit of an opposite effect than when we go to practice it. So it takes a couple seconds, I think, right, to get into the swing of things. And then you just enjoy it and take your time and push out that stress and let your heart get a nice massage, and it's really good for you.
Exactly. A lot of times we're like, well, do I clear my mind? What am I supposed to be doing? And I'm always just pick one word that when you breathe in and out, that you just want to focus on. Mine is usually calm. So it's a good way for me to breathe and focus on the word calm and what that means and how it's affecting my body. And then I always tell them too, think of it as the ocean. The ocean comes in, it's soothing, and then it goes away and it's taking, what could be like your stress in your body. So when you breathe in, it's calming. When you breathe out, just focus it, release everything, and kind of get that visual. And then after a couple of times of them doing it, they're like, oh my gosh, it was awesome. I feel so calm.
Yeah.
So people just don't think about it enough. So it's a really important tool there.
It is. It's just another area of the function of the body to help things get moving in the way that they should be with everyday stress and caffeine, and people are just on the go so much. like Jen mentioned, breathing in your chest, the upper area near your neck is where people see the breathing movement happening. And if you can't do belly breathing all the time, just make a conscious effort to get in little sneaks of it.
Exactly.
Well, like I said, I'm glad you brought that one up. When should we talk about next? I mean, I really do like the dry brushing. I don't know if you've tried it before, Jen. Just taking a rougher brush, a coarse brush, and taking when your skin's dry and brushing it, stroking it in a certain motion. It's exfoliating and rejuvenating as well because you get those cells activated underneath those layers that are coming off. And I really have enjoyed it. I've done it a handful of times and plan on doing it more. And then you just cleanse your body and put some lotion on. And it's another tip that most people just don't think of right off the bat.
That sounds relaxing. Since I'm big on the breathing, I always tell people too, if you just take a long, like you're in the shower, just take a really long, hot shower on the weekends or whatever, and just focus on the breathing and make a sauna effect. And if you don't feel comfortable standing in the shower doing it, take a really long bubble bath and just focus on the breathing. Or just turn the shower on, sit somewhere in the bathroom and just focus on the breathing too, because the sauna effect is really good at releasing the toxins in the body and just, the overall calmness of the body. And you'd be surprised at how well that works too.
Yes, I appreciate that. I know last night when we were preparing for today's podcast, I was like, okay, well, what can I do to get myself in a little bit more balance? And so I took a hot bath with one of those bath bombs that was invigorating with lavender and wintergreen, and it was really nice. I don't get in there too often, but it's important. Helps the body just calm and relax. It's true, especially with the hot water, like you mentioned. And I love using essential oils in the baths or the showers. So you've got your morning ones and you've got your night ones, and you can wake up and feel energy and feel alive, or you can kind of decompress a little bit and feel more calm. And I'll even drop them in the kids' showers or baths just for a little treat.
That makes me want to go take a bubble bath. It's going to be a long week.
Right.
I know there's another thing too that people probably don't realize. When you're focusing on your breathing and you want to focus in on the things that you're drawing out the negativity, a lot of people forget about journaling. This can be writing down your thoughts of, your anxiety. It could be what's making you angry throughout your day. It could be what's making you feel great, positive, motivated, and you just write everything down. And believe it or not, after so long of doing that, when you go back and reread, it's connecting the dots. So then you can figure out what your triggers are, maybe at work, that are causing some stress, or maybe it's a certain somebody that's just driving you nuts, and you figure it out on paper, and then you're maybe go talk to them and get some of the issues resolved. So that is a really good area too. I know for myself, I do a lot of prayer journal. So I do prayer and I write everything out, and then I will go back and reread and see how everything's been connected. And it's pretty cool. So journaling is huge.
It is. It's important. It's kind of like a lost technique of the modern world too, with everyone on the keyboards and the texting so much, or even the voice text for emails and such like that. So truly taking a hand to a piece of paper is magical. There's a connection there. And I like that you brought journaling up again as well too, because like you said, you can compare and find out get to the root of the problem. Another thing is sometimes it might even be just a certain time of the day when people have a consistent, kind of weariness. And so that is a really good indicator that it's time to take some self-care. And I couldn't imagine if you were feeling that way journaling, if you weren't journaling. So it's just important.
It is, and I think a lot of times people realize, I like to write. This is really cool. I've never done this before, and it is freeing, and you get creative. Um, put your dreams on paper, and you know how they say,
Yeah.
write it, you can achieve it. If you see it, you can achieve it. So it's one of those. It's a really good foundation to start with to connect dots. I know a lot of things for my clients. I ask for food journal. I want to know what you're eating because a lot of times it plays in your emotions throughout your day as well.
Absolutely.
And so if you feel down and you eat a big thing of brownies and you beating yourself about it, well, what did you write in your journal? What are you eating? What are you feeling?
Right.
See why you went for what you did for food. So that's another area that I think people forget about. But as you mentioned with the digital stuff, digital detox for a weekend is big because you get reconnected with your family, your kids, your spouse. You see their face. You're not looking at a screen. You're actually having conversations. Many times you go out to eat somewhere and there's a young couple or young family and all they're doing is on their phone. And I think it's really important too for self-care to focus in on areas that you thought you might be putting effort into, but when you did a digital detox, you realize, oh my gosh, I was missing out on this because I too much time in my screen all day, every day.
Yeah.
And so digital detox, is important because you want to stay connected with what's in front of you as well.
Yeah, and I think we've talked about this before. The science from the light in the phone to the connection with your eyes and your brain is, it just gets real heavy load on the body. And one area of self care that I did want to mention, and this is going to go back to what you were just saying, is I find a lot of people are afraid to put themselves first and give themselves attention. And sort of like you're mentioning, you're on your phone so much, and then, you get a little bogged down, and then when you're stopping the usage of the digital media, it's like, oh my gosh, wow, my head feels so much better. There's a whole other world out there. Oh, I feel a sense of peace on me. But this is the same thing that happens with people who don't give themselves self-care. It's like you're running on a hamster wheel and you get off of it and you take a break and you're going to feel enlightened, you're going to feel better. So just the same as anybody working on a major project long term, you take a break from it and you come back to it and you feel better and your brain's more clear and you're working at a better pace and you're getting more done. And so this is the exact same thing. If people don't take that time for themselves and give themselves some de-stress and a break, right?
Exactly. Because I know that guilt is a big thing to overcome for those that, they don't see themselves being able to do that. But that's where we as the integrative health coaches come in and we support you on overcoming that guilt so you can start applying your self-care daily. Because if you're lacking and you're run down, it's not good for you and it's not good for the people that are around you, especially if they're feeling that way. So it's finding that sunshine within yourself to take care of yourself so you're better for everybody else in the long run.
It's very true. And I'm not sure, if this is one of those things that everyone's heard before, take care of yourself so that way you can take better care of the people that you love. But it's absolutely true. The cortisol levels inside of the body, the internal stress. So let's just say someone's moving along just fine and they feel, I don't need to take self-care. I'm fine. I'm happy. The truth is stress doesn't only come outside of the body. There's stress that happens internally. And if people aren't relaxing, then they're putting themselves at risk for health conditions that are related to stress. And most of the time, they're not even knowing that they're doing that. So this is one of those areas where we want everyone to know that you as an individual are very important, and self-care is an area of health, just like food, just like relationships and exercise and all these wonderful topics that Jen and I talk about. It's very important to look at how you can relax and take a break and do something nice for yourself, even if it's a little bit costly, the importance of it, especially on your body on the long term.
Exactly, because people don't realize, like if you have trouble with your bowel movements, a lot of times that stress is wrapped up right in your gut.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
it's identifying what's stressing you to release it. And then guess what happens? You're going to feel great. So, it's that release. And if you hold everything in, it's not good, and it can do more damage than just your gut. So, um, that's why we're here. We want to help you and support you and encourage you to do self care.
Yeah, and dental hygiene is another area. Routine dental cleanings are important, especially if you're not taking much care at home. I don't know if you've ever tried the water flosser, but I absolutely love it. It works so good. And I enjoy doing that and taking care of myself and scheduling my dental cleanings and making sure you have a good toothbrush because, just a simple thing after dinner, scraping your tongue with a tongue scraper helps get rid of those flavors on your tongue. And if they're still sitting there, a lot of the times they can encourage sugar cravings and carb cravings. So having a cleaner mouth is going to help with decision making. It's going to help with the way you feel, having less guilt because you're not, you know, feeding all of these cravings. And so your mouth and your teeth whitening systems, the natural ones, these all make us feel better, right?
Exactly. I love flossing. I was just doing that before we did our podcast today. So I was like, this feels so good. And my teeth love it, and
Yeah.
getting them clean. So, it's just really important to take that time. It doesn't take that long.
Mm-mm.
If you're going to brush your teeth, you can floss. Oil pulling is another one, too. I've not myself experienced that one, but I hear a lot of great things about that, especially from other health coaches, that the oil boiling is something that's soothing, cleaning, calming, and just relaxing for the mouth as well. So you can do that one too.
Yeah, I have tried it a couple times. I haven't picked it up yet as a common routine, but I'm a huge fan of coconut oil, proper coconut oil, and yeah, it works. That's the truth.
And I know this is going to sound crazy, especially for some men that are listening, but pedicures are great at relaxing the body as well. And it's really important to get those feet massaged because we have several layers of muscle in our feet, and each layer does something for us. So if your feet are carrying you around every day, all day,
Take care of them.
treat them exactly. Treat them to a little pedicure. You can do it once a month, every 6 weeks, every 2 months. But get your toes filed, clipped. Women like fancy colors and little flowers, and it's just really important to take care of your feet. And then you get a little leg massage with it too, and it feels great. So.
Yeah. Or you also get the chair with the massager, so you're kind of getting it all going at once.
Oh yeah, and sometimes they give you a little bit of wine depending on where you go. So.
I'm glad you mentioned the pedicure with the men because I had that on my list too. I love when I go to the studio and I see, a man and woman in there together or just a man in there because it's important and you get the exfoliating which helps release toxins. If you do use essential oils, they'll absorb better through your feet and you've got all of your like you said, your pressure points in there, and this just helps with circulation just to massage the legs and the feet and make sure everything's running properly. All the pipes are going, and it is very relaxing. And it's important they get out the ingrown toenails and they clean things out. And a lot of people don't have the proper tools at home to do this themselves, and so it's a very very good area of self care.
Yes. And another area for massage is the full body massage, facials. But keep in mind when you are stressed, because if you're not doing self care, when you go get a massage, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, that was awesome. What you want to do is realize that the fascia is over the muscle. And when you are stressed, that fascia is going to tighten. And when that tightens, it laps over the muscle and it creates more tenseness. So it's really important to go have your fascia massaged to get that released off the muscle so you don't feel so tense when you are stressed, because adding stress to something that you're not taking care of over time is just amazing how that a massage can just affect the whole thing of just release. So massages are really important too.
Yeah, that sounds like it would feel really good right now.
I know. It's cold over here. You're in Arizona, so you're probably nice and warm.
little bit.
Getting the warm blankets, and yeah, give me my massage. My husband just got one yesterday. He had a shoulder injury, and I kept telling him for 7 months, get a massage on your shoulder, and he never did. But the doctor okayed everything, and no tears, nothing for an injury. So he went and got a massage yesterday, and I was a little bit jealous because he was getting all worked out, I was like freezing. I was like, I want to get my warm blankets and get rubbed too. But yeah, he really enjoys it. I know for men, it's a little awkward, but it's okay.
Yeah.
So,
my husband loves them. I mean, we don't get them too often, but that's what I like about self-care is when you're doing something frequently, over time you're not using the same resource, but yet you're getting this realm of care on the body. One day you're focusing on your skin, and another day your teeth, and another day on your muscles, and another day on cooking and nutrition and making sure your home and your body is getting the nourishment that it needs. And these are just all areas to pay attention to and kind of go through the routines.
For the listeners, some of them might be thinking, well, that's a great advice and all, but I really don't want to spend the money for all this stuff. You can do things at home too. You can breathe at home. You can stretch. Stretching is huge.
Yeah.
A lot of people are not aware of stretching.
I love online yoga videos. You can get, again, just like the oils, you can get a morning one, you can get a night one. So you can get energetic and energize and get going, or you can decompress and relax and soothe and be in peace. And
exactly. And one thing people probably don't do enough of is reading books, because everything's on the computer nowadays. Curl up with your favorite blanket, your hot green tea, and get a favorite book and just start reading. I know that's on my to-do list for 2018, so I'm going to start reading more books.
That's probably one of the ones that I do the most.
So, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot you can do at home. Have your husband give you a little foot rub, or a hand massage and a shoulder massage or something. But yeah, you don't have to go pay tons of money to have all this stuff done, because there are things that you can do in your neighborhood. Walk, go for a run, get a bike out and go biking. It doesn't have to be maybe 30 minutes to yourself drinking your favorite coffee and no kids. Lock yourself in a room somewhere.
Yeah, back to what you were saying about the facial is I do want people to know that there's organic facial options, and these are pretty amazing because of the ingredients that are used, and you can make some at home. I know people who use avocado as a mask, or people who will put maybe sea salt and some strawberries and rose petals for an exfoliant. You can also just give yourself a hand massage or a foot massage. I mean, if you have a few minutes to do it, it's still relaxing, even though you're doing it to yourself.
Agree.
So
self-care is really important.
Yeah. I know some people who love to sing, who really like to paint. Even if you don't, you can try it. You can try singing. You can try painting. I'm not a good artist, but I really love getting paints together and trying to draw a tree outside my window or paint a tree outside my window. And, we all have our unique little talents, and so it's still relaxing.
Yes, my kids don't like me singing, though.
Yeah, my parents are very good singers. My brother's a good singer, but I sing and smile. I'm like, look at me, guys, I can do it too. And everyone's like, no, you can't.
Okay, so everyone's going to laugh at me, but another thing you can do right at home is put your favorite music on and just dance. I can't dance, but my kids watch me dance. My dog begs to dance with me. Don't ask why, I don't know. But it's just something, get the hips moving. Yep. Make sure your core is tight and just start dancing. I mean, you'd be surprised at how long you can go and burn off some calories and start sweating a little bit, get that heart race going. And then you feel great. You feel motivated. And then, my music go-to is salsa. It's a great music to get the hips going. So do it right at home. And I incorporate that in my workout at home. So
I'll dance with my kids. I'll vouch for that. And I know people who love to dance, and they'll find dancing lessons in their local areas. And it just makes me so happy that, even a small community like where I'm from our population is about 60,000, and there's dance lessons, there's paint lessons, there's tea rooms, there's all kinds of stuff if you look.
Exactly. Well, my husband and I took ballroom dance lessons together several years ago, and that was a lot of fun. I want to do it again, but you have to have a partner, and I don't think he really wants to do it, so I'm not going to force it. But, talking about the whole stress and movement, Tai Chi is really good.
I'm so
Yoga is
glad.
really
I knew you
good.
were going to mention that because it's one of your things, and I want to try it so bad. I haven't tried it yet.
I love it. I've had to give it up for a couple months because of a knee injury, but I'm feeling 100% better, and I'm going to start tackling that again in January. So it's slow motion. You're focused on your breathing. It's, for here, our class is about 40, 45 minutes long, and you really, if you do it right, you feel like you've had a massage.
Wow.
So it's just really, really, really good. And I've done yoga before. I like that one too. Again, they're focusing on breathing. So breathing is huge. It's in everything.
Yeah.
So it's just how you do it and be aware that you're doing it is key.
I absolutely love yoga. I like to do CrossFit for fun, but I do believe that it is hard on the body, and so I don't make that my everyday routine. But I do really enjoy yoga. I like how I can be fast and going nonstop with CrossFit, and then I can do yoga and be peaceful and relaxing and slow and kind of to myself a little bit more and still get a great workout from it. And I don't know if you've ever tried the bar workout, BARRE. My cousin in Pasadena is an instructor for it, and it's a blast. It's very difficult, though. I mean, you're pointing your toes and kind of doing ballet movements, but it's very fast paced. But a reason I mention that is because there's breathing involved, and fast breathing, and you feel great afterwards. It's amazing.
I just found a studio in our area that offers that, and I was thinking about trying it because another friend of mine in Texas told me she was taking it and absolutely loves it. So it's like, well, it's on my to-do list.
Yeah,
So,
and it's not like Olympic lifting or marathon running. I mean, you're just using your body and doing small movements repeatedly for a long period of time, like pulse sensations, and it's amazing. Every tiny little muscle in your body that you can use with the bar workouts.
wow. I've got another friend. She's also an integrative health coach. She takes pole. And I laughed at her at first. I'm like, that doesn't, appeal to me at all. But when you watch someone do pole and the fitness, it is amazing what it does for the body. And it's the core strengthening, it's the breathing, the legs, the arms. And I was blown away. And I'm like applauding her for doing it because I'm like, I don't see myself doing that. It's not probably for everybody, but the benefits of it are huge. I mean, she looks amazing.
Wow, I bet.
Yeah.
Well, my husband and I went to the Lifetime Gym in Henderson, Nevada, right next to Vegas, and it was amazing. I mean, they had the sauna and the pool, and we played tennis, and they had spin class and just everything. But I couldn't believe it. They had a balance class, and so it was amazing. I mean, there were so many men in that class. It was a male teacher, and you use these weighted poles, and I don't even know how to explain it, but it was incredible and also peaceful. And it's important to focus on your balance. And even if you're just brushing your teeth and practice standing on one foot or whatever it is throughout the day, because it helps you be centered and it helps your brain function. And if you have a lot of sugar in your body, try this. Um, if you've eaten sugar and you try to balance, it's going to be off and you're going to be unstable. But if you're, taking the best care of your body possibly and having limited sugar, your balance is going to be better. And so this is something to keep in mind for your loved ones and the elderly. They can get hurt and there's a lot of falls with poor balance. And so focusing on it and improving it is very important.
I agree. Balancing is something I do myself. different movements on one leg each, and up to 3 minutes on each side, and just focusing on concentration, tight core. You'd be surprised at how long you can stay on one foot after doing it for a while. And some of it's probably going to look like the yoga movement, but it's just being centered and balanced. And I get a lot of people asking me, you seem so balanced. What do you do? Well, that's one of the things I do. And I think that it helps and strengthens your legs, your core, and your mental focus.
Absolutely. Good for you. I'm so glad. It's great.
Thank you.
Well, I know some people get caught up in work and don't take breaks, and then therefore they're not getting the self-care that they need. I know for me, usually it helps to just get out of routine a little bit. So, like, I love to go to festivals and museums, and um, something that's fun to do with the kids is just to go to the pet store and just, see the birds and the lizards and watch the puppies get a bath. And it's just nice, it takes you out of your routine and helps you relax a little bit more and see these amazing things going on in life. And that's something that some people could do as well, as go to the Humane Society and visit the animals or spend some time with them, if they're animal lovers.
Yeah, I love animals. I know with having my kids around when there's no school, it's easy to get caught up in all the work stuff and here, there, and everywhere. But for me, getting out of my routine is just being a kid. And my kids think it's great. It's like, mom's being goofy. She's laughing with us. And just hearing their laugh is just like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So like laser tag, some fun stuff, doom buggies, go-karts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's a chance to be a kid again, and to be able to be a kid with them is something they'll never forget. And so that's how I get out of my routine, just be goofy. Their friends come over and I'm just like, oh, and they're like, your mom's weird. But it's like, it's, I don't know, it's just good for the soul, to laugh, be a kid again.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we're growing up and we're adults doesn't mean we have to lose our child. So
yeah. Put work down, it'll still be there tomorrow, and make some memories.
Exactly, because kids grow up too fast. So, but yeah, that's a lot of fun being with kids.
Now, on a different aspect, eye exams. I'm not big on, rushing to the doctor or getting, glasses right away, but definitely getting an eye exam is important and it's safe. I know a great friend of mine just had one done. It had been a while, and she did need to get some glasses to see better when she's driving at night. And that's scary and that's important. So, just when we neglect these wonderful things that we have been given, our eyes and our brain and our skin and our teeth, they're just another part of taking care of ourselves and being responsible for our body, for it to keep magnificently taking care of us day by day by day. And so that's another part that's important, is just to know where you stand with that.
I agree.
So, one of the things I wanted to mention is, I know for men, it seems like if they get that time, they're so busy working and providing for their family and giving all around. It's really nice when they can get out in the garage or organize or go camping or fishing, play a sport, whatever it may be. And that usually helps men get more centered, and then they're able to be at peace and to give more to their family. And,
I think men love to grill out too. I think that's big for them. And
yeah.
then a lot of them like to go golfing. So at least around here, it's like they're always at the golf course. So I find it to be more of a stressful sport. They find it more relaxing. I don't know, but it's important for guys to get out and do stuff too.
Yes, ladies, let your men go have man time. It's hard, but it's important. And just like it's important for us to put these things on the calendar and schedule them. And I came across a tip one time, and so what I'll end up doing is I'll go, oh my gosh, I need to give myself some self care. Which should I do? What do I need the most? But I came across something as a tip, and it said to get all of your appointments on schedule, your teeth, your hair, your feet, your nails, the gym, whatever it is, over a long period of time. That way, every, 4 or 5 months, it's not, oh yeah, I need to schedule that dentist appointment because that's time consuming. It could go either way. I like to just figure out what I'm needing and go tackle it. But then again, I do think it would be nice because usually by the time you're thinking about it, it's due anyway, and you're going to have to do it anyway. So putting them all on schedule for a year or two, some pedicures here and there, and your dental appointments, and getting your hair, done or changed, and exfoliating, mini vacations. These are all helpful. So I don't know how you would feel about that, but some people could pre-schedule them, and it saves you time in the long run.
Yes, and then it's on the calendar as a reminder. Oh, I've got this coming up. I can't schedule anything else because this is
Exactly.
important to do. I think one thing for women too, make sure you have your mammogram set. Your yearly mammograms.
Yeah. And the
So
pap
I know
smears
some.
are important, your annual appointments, because they can save a lot of lives if you catch stuff early on.
Exactly. But yeah, if you're a scheduler, schedule it, and that way you know you got it on the book. If you kind of go with the whim of things, just know, be mindful what day of the week it is, when you told yourself you were going to go, and make sure you do it because it's really important.
Yeah. So what's the next area of self-care that you're going to give yourself to feel better balance?
Myself,
Yeah.
well, I've got a massage for Friday set scheduled already. I do massages probably every 5 weeks. I try to do pedicures within 6 weeks. Um, Very mindful on my breathing and stretching here at home and doing some of my workouts. I don't go to the gym. I do everything here at home. Making sure that I'm active on the elliptical, doing my light weights and stuff like that, my balancing. So I try to get everything in, rotate my days, cardio versus the lifting and stuff. So those are just, to me, really important self-care techniques I do. So, yeah, it helps me.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
Well, we've got some real pretty parks here, and I love how in the winter, well, this is winter for most people, fall for us, but this time of the year in Lake Havasu, the leaves are actually on the ground, which is a pretty amazing thing for us. And I love walking by the lake with all the leaves on the ground. I just think it's so pretty. So doing that with myself would be real nice with maybe a, hot vanilla chai, or just, off to my own imagination at that point.
There you go.
Um,
Yeah, it's really cold here, so I am inside, working out. When it's nice out, though, I do like to go for my mile walks, and
yeah,
that's just with some music on, or maybe not music, or focusing on my breathing. What's it sound like? What's my shoes sound like on the pavement? And soaking in the sounds of the birds, watching the little animals run by. So, but yeah, when you can get outside, definitely go for that.
yeah. I love having hot tea throughout the week. That's just a quick thing that I can do. It just doesn't take much time at all to just make a nice tea, whether it be rose or chamomile or detox or whatever it may be, and just enjoy that hot cup of tea just for a few minutes, and it takes the edge off.
Definitely. I got to have my hot green teas.
I love those in the morning.
Summertime, it's usually, the sun tea, but, it's still green tea or the black tea. But yeah, those are my go-to teas.
Yeah. Well, and then one more thing that we mentioned earlier was cooking. One of my go-tos is either watching family movies, or, like I said, taking time for myself. But I really like when I can cook a bunch of recipes at once. I know it sounds like a tremendous amount of work, and for someone who cooks, I mean, 200% of the time, they would want to break from this. I cook frequently for the home and for the family, but I usually try to do things in advance where I'll make a big soup and we'll eat that for a couple days, or I make a big roast and we eat that for a couple days. But one of my self care activities that I'll do throughout the month is just trying new, beautiful, vibrant recipes and cooking them all at once. And I'm always real pleased at the end, and I get to share it with my family. And I love trying new foods and new recipes. So it's nice to get out of the busy work day and take a break and do that. I enjoy it a lot.
Well, I applaud you for all that cooking. I don't think I could do that, but I would try. Yeah, I do all the cooking right here, but usually not so much in bulk like that yet. So,
Well, I hope that the listeners picked up some good tips or were kindly reminded to take care of themselves.
exactly. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Belly breathe.
Yes. And we can't wait to talk to you guys again next week. If you have any questions, Awaken Health Pod, please visit us and contact us and share any questions or what your favorite go-to is for balance. I know there's so many more out there that we didn't get to touch basis on today, but I hope all of you have a great week. Jen, I hope you have a wonderful week as well.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you so much. Well, I guess we'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.